Hello, everyone. Dan from Story of the Year here. You're watching Punkvideosrock.
What's up, guys? Rob here, punkvideosrock.com. I'm hanging out with Dan of Story of the Year. It's about time I finally sit down with you, man. I've had like all the other members, but you're always hiding from me. I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm mysterious. I don't go out in the daylight. Now the sun's going down, so now. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we haven't done anything in a few years, really, so we've been kind of chilling out.
There's been stuff. There's been festivals and Warped Tour, and
We've done some stuff, but yeah.
I'm not Dan approved until now. So
Yeah, we were like, no, we don't want to talk to that guy. No.
so tell me, 10 years, man. Like, obviously you wouldn't have expected when writing this record that this was gonna happen. But tell me about going back into it and re-recording it. Listening to it for myself, it took me back to that era, 2003. So I can only imagine what it was like for you in the studio and looking at the lyrics again and playing the songs.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was awesome. A lot of the stuff. Well, yeah, it was weird to have to re-sing everything. Just brought back all the memories from 2002 when we were actually recording it, and then eventually 2003 and 4 of touring that record for 2 straight years. But yeah, and a lot of the songs like took on completely different meanings now. Like when I'm going back through the lyrics, it's like, wow, it's like some of that stuff meant different things then than it means now, but it makes sense on a whole different level now in different ways. And yeah, I fell in love with the songs on a different level, recording them again, and that was awesome. But yeah, it's a really great thing that, well, just 10 years in general blows my mind. It seems like it was just yesterday that we put out a record, and like I feel like, we're still trying to be a band, and it's happening.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that nowadays, like new bands, they don't last a couple years at least, like and you guys and a lot of all the other great pop punk and punk bands, like they lasted a good time.
Yeah, that is something we're realizing as of late. It's like, wow, we've outlasted a lot of bands, and we're not the biggest band in the world, but we still have quite a great amount of fans, and they're super awesome fans too. So yeah, I don't know, we're lucky. We did something right. I don't know what we did, but
and all the members are still the same. Like there's no line changes or anything. So it's like, if bands today would do whatever it is that you guys did, everybody would last.
We're from St. Louis, so we're Midwest dudes, and I don't know, I think we all kind of grew up together and went to high school together or played in bands in the St. Louis area. So we've just been friends for so long. Yeah. And music was just a hobby, it was just something that was fun, and we hoped that we could do it every day, and luckily it became our job. But I think that's the only reason we stayed as close of friends as we still are. And of course we hate each other at some point and every day, but
that's normal.
But yeah, that's normal in a band. Yeah.
So when going back to re-record this new album, this new version of the album, why piano in there? Which I love that you did that, because I honestly, I did a video update on this a while back, and I was just saying how I love your voice. So listening to your voice with the piano in the background, it's crazy.
We didn't really know what we were going to do. We talked about how we could make special versions, and we didn't want to just do like a remix or remaster or any of that. We didn't want to mess with the original because people love the original for what it is as well as we do. So we wanted to completely do something different. So every song we just kind of stripped down. We're like, okay, how can we make this completely different? The piano was like just the furthest thing away from like guitars and heavy drums and stuff. So I think once we did like 1 or 2 songs like that, we were like, man, we should really focus on that, because it's such a cool dynamic. It gives it like a weird, dramatic, creepy feel to a lot of the songs. And like Anthem of Our Dying Day it's such a cool vibe with the piano, and The Hero Will Drown was totally different. Yeah, piano and strings, it's just like, it's such a big feel, and it's just different. So we wanted to just make it not at all like the original, basically.
Yeah, it's almost like you actually released a brand new record.
Yeah, and it showcases the songs.
He's totally lying.
I'm a liar. Yeah, it showcases the songs in a different way, and it's like, it shows that, well, I think that it shows that they're actually really well-written songs, and a lot of that has to do with John Feldman, who produced Page Avenue, and he taught us so much when we were in the process of making the record originally. And he's like, yeah, you can't do that. You gotta go back to the chorus there, because that's how you're supposed to do a song. And we're like, oh, okay. So yeah, I credit most of that to him for making those songs into really great, well-written songs. But yeah, I think it shows a lot when you can strip it down and it's still a great song on a different level.
That and I think that album, whether it was 10 years ago or today, I think that album would still be relevant even if you just released it today. You know, like.
Yeah, I would hope so. I don't know really. I mean, a lot has changed and music is always different, but it's still working on some level, and we're playing that whole thing tonight, and people are loving it. So.
Now you had mentioned you wrote this you worked on this with Feldman. So why did you not bring him back for this acoustic one?
I don't know. We talked to him about it, and not like really working it again. I mean, he did all the production already, and we put it out ourselves, so we didn't really have a budget or anything. We did it with a friend in St. Louis, and technology has made everything so much different now. So we're all pretty smart, and we know what we're doing now, and recording wise. So kind of just did it all ourselves with a friend, and we wanted to keep it like just all of our stuff. And he did all the hard work producing already 10 years ago. So I mean, the songs were there already. So that's cool. But yeah, he was like, he was kind of on the fence with it when we were talking to him, but he's like, I don't know if people want to hear the whole record redone, and we're like, I don't either.
He's wrong. He's wrong.
We didn't know either, but once we knew how different it was, then we knew that it was going to be great. We did skip 2 of the tracks just because it was kind of a timing issue, and we didn't have immediate ideas of what we were doing. But yeah, Feldman's awesome, man. He's a genius.
No, he definitely is. Now, also, when you guys first released the record, it took a while for it to actually pick up and get heard and all that. Do you think it had a lot to do with the Linkin Park tour, or do you think it still would have eventually picked up?
That definitely helped. Yeah, that was the biggest tour we did. It came out in like September of 2003. Yeah, the single was at radio for probably about 6 months, like before it actually started getting full airplay, until the day I die. And they started getting played a lot during the Linkin Park time, so that definitely helped, yeah. And because we did a bunch of tours, we were on tour the whole time, but we did a tour of The Used and My Kim and Thrice, and then we did some stuff with Goldfinger. We did a bunch of little small headlining stuff, and then Linkin Park was like, hey, you want to go play in front of 15,000 people every night? We were like, yep, absolutely. Yeah, that was it taught us so much just about being a band and being professional, and like they were just on the level of being a big, real band, and we learned a lot about the stage show and how to treat people on tour, and they're like the epitome of everything you should do in a band. They're great dudes.
And speaking of stage show, you always have such a killer performance. Actually, the whole band does. It's not just you in particular. And I remember, I want to say it was Warped Tour 2005. It was you guys were on the bill, Taking Back Sunday was on the bill, and You Found Glory was on the bill.
It was either 04 or 05. Yeah, we were all kind of on both those years. So,
and one of the dates that I went to, it was Taking Back Sunday, and then you guys, and it was just intense. Like that was a whole hour of just intense music, and I loved it. Like, how do you keep that going over the years?
We always focused on our live show. Like from the get-go, we knew we cared about the music, obviously, but it was more about the live show. Usually, at first, we're like, well, that's not going to be fun to play live, so let's write a different song, But yeah, it was just like we grew up listening. Or I was more into like the '90s punk scene and stuff, and I liked bands that ran around and kicked ass on stage, And so yeah, that was always our main focus. And luckily, we were all like in our early 20s and skateboarders and like athletic, and we had energy. And now it's a lot harder 10 years later, but but we still put everything we can into the show, and we're running and jumping off things just as much as we ever did, but. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's way more fun, obviously. And we became known for our good live show, and so we have to live up to it all the time now.
How do you guys even prep for that nowadays?
A lot of stretching, alcohol consumption, and I don't know, that's about it. We listen to, we do like an hour before the show where we just jam music. We actually just bought a new radio receiver from Best Buy because ours broke and we didn't have any music to listen to in the dressing room. We're like, well, we're going to be screwed. What do we do? We just jam good music, usually like opposite music of what we play. It's always hip-hop or something weird.
I saw you post something about J. Cole not a couple days ago.
Yeah, we played downstairs from him at the same club, and we were jamming that the other day. But just listen to loud music, have a couple drinks, and stretch and have fun.
Now, let's go back to when the band first started. The original name, what was it, Blue Monkey? Big Blue Monkey. Who picked that name out?
I don't know. We had me, Ryan, and Josh. We went to high school together, so we were in so many different bands, like from like '96 until Story of the Year got the final lineup in like 2001-ish, I guess. 2000 or 2001. But yeah, Big Blue Monkey. It was kind of in that late '90s, like Limp Bizkit era. You know, when nu metal was still kind of happening, you could have a really dumb name. So I think we were just like, whoa, what's not? We don't want it to be serious, you know. So it was like there was actually a Big Blue Monkey stuffed statue or something in somebody's room. We were like, Big Blue Monkey, that's a funny name. And it was that simple. It was like no thought at all. And then that's why eventually we had changed a couple members while we were called Big Blue Monkey, and it was a different band by the end. And we were like, we can't stick with that name. It's stupid. And
you think you still would have been here today if you stuck with that name? Same record, same everything.
Oh man, I don't know. Maybe, because the name doesn't really matter that much. A lot of dumb names that work out over, but. No, I don't think we would have been taken as seriously, probably, but because we're weird anyway, and we if you've ever seen our DVDs, we're idiots. But I don't know. I don't think nothing would have worked out exactly like it did if it wouldn't have happened how it did, But I don't know. That's weird. I'm glad we changed it personally.
Me too.
It actually, we got signed as Big Blue Monkey to Maverick Records, and we already wanted to change it, and then they were like, "Yeah, you should change it." So it was pretty funny.
So now that you guys are back together, what was it, like 2 years that you guys were disbanded? So now you guys are back together. Are you guys back together just for this anniversary tour, or are you guys in for another record?
No, we're trying to be a full-time band right now, and we never broke up or really decided not to do anything. We just knew we wanted to focus on some other stuff and just take a little bit of a break, and it turned into a couple years where we would play a couple things. We did Japan, I think, in the middle of that, and did a couple random shows, but yeah, we just wanted to step back and give it a couple years before we tried to work on new music, obviously. So, and we knew we had the 10-year anniversary stuff coming up, so we were kind of like, all right, we'll regroup then. And we haven't started working on music yet, but we're a lot of talking about it, and we kind of know what we want to do, but we'll be working on it soon. Okay. That is the plan, and keep on doing it as long as we can. Absolutely. We're never going to break up. It's just,
10 years in counting, man. You better live up to it.
I know. Every night I'm like, let's do it for another 10 years, please.
I'd be okay with that, and I'm pretty sure all the fans would be also.
Yeah, of course, I would love it. I don't want to do anything else in life. Just music. The only thing I'm really good at. I love it, and I've been lucky enough to have that be my job for 10 years. So
now, does it affect that some of the other members have other projects too? I mean, you were doing some fun punk project as well. Will that affect anything?
No, it hasn't really affected much. Ryan and Phil have a band called Greek Fire, and they're really good, and they're doing great. My band, The Fuck Off and Dies, it's just it was more of a joke band. It was just my friends, something to play locally and get back into just playing small fun shows. And yeah, it's just a fun punk band. Adam was in that band Drugs for a little while, but they're no longer together. So no, we all kind of knew we wanted to try other things. It's really cool to play with other people, and it's like being married to a chick forever and then getting to just go make out with a couple of other chicks for a little while. Yeah, it's like the hall pass. But when it's just your band, it's fine. But yeah, it was really cool, and you learn a lot from playing with outside people and just not being stuck with the same exact thought processes all the time, So I think we learned a lot in the last couple of years about everything. So
that's good. And Warped Tour was a big part of the band also, and a 20th anniversary is coming up.
Is it next year? Is it this one?
You know what? I'm still trying to figure it out because I've been seeing two different dates whenever I see stuff. So regardless, though.
It was either 93 or 94.
Yeah.
Or no. Okay. Because this would have been, I think it was 19 this year, so yeah, it might be next year's the 20th.
Okay. So how has Warped Tour really helped out the band?
It was similar to Linkin Park, it was definitely one of the bigger, most influential things we ever did. We did it in 2003 on the side stage, did the whole thing, and we were on every side stage possible, and some days we would be on the main stage, and then the record started picking up, so 2004 we were on the main stage, and that year was huge for us, it was like you said, I think Newfound Glory and Taking Back Sunday, I think was on 2005. I think you're right, but it was a lot of those bands. Mike Kim was on 2004 and 5. So yeah, it was just at the time when all of our bands were just breaking out. So yeah, it was a great year, and we were killing it that year. And then we did 2005 for a little bit too. So yeah, every year we went back in 2008, did the whole thing, and then we did 2 weeks this year.
Yeah, which sucked because it was only the East Coast.
Yeah, East Coast. Which the only reason we didn't do the whole thing is because we knew we had this stuff booked, but we hadn't announced it yet, and everybody's like, well, why are you coming to my city? And we just kind of wanted to do a little bit of Warped Tour for fun, but we didn't want to blow the 10-year anniversary stuff, So
which only story of the year says Warped Tour was for fun, because everybody else is like, that shit was hard.
Well, yeah, it is hard. It's definitely hard. It's a rough tour, but We know how to do it now. Like we know what to do and when to, what vehicle you need. It's like in a van, it's damn near impossible. It's terrible. We've done it in a van, but it's hard. And we're spoiled now, so we usually have some kind of bus or something. But yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it again at some point. Hopefully next year. I don't know.
Hopefully that'll be great.
We'll see.
That'd be great.
Let's
get that 2004, 2005 lineup again. That'll be perfect.
We'll do our 10-year anniversary of Warp. No, we did it. We already did the 10-year anniversary because our first time was in 2003. So never mind. Well, we did it in 2004 too. So now we have to do 2014.
Now, what else can we expect from you guys for the remainder of the year? I know you have a couple weeks left on this tour.
Yeah, this is another 3 weeks or so. We still got to go all south up through the East Coast, end in Canada, I think. But after this, for the rest of the year, I don't think we're doing much. We're trying to do Australia. We're working on it right now, and then we got to get back to Europe too because we want to do the 10-year stuff in both those regions. Yeah. But yeah, after that, then I guess we'll really start focusing on new music. Okay. So that's the plan right now. We don't know. We're kind of just up in the air right now. We're just going with the flow.
That's good. I mean, as long as you guys are back, that's more than halfway there. So.
We're just doing things as they come and just enjoying it.
That's good. Now, if you had the opportunity to change any one thing from the past 10 years, whether it was not releasing a song or not doing a certain tour, is there anything that you regret that you've done that you think could have affected?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of things. We talk about this stuff all the time. But then again, you're like, okay, well, it worked out because, look, we're still here. Everything's fine. But I know we all regret the video for We Don't Care Anymore off of In the Wake of Determination. What? We don't regret it. It was supposed to be a lot better than it was. And I think that being the first single on that record wasn't the greatest idea because none of it, we haven't played it really in 7 years or something. We just never were really in love with it, but the label liked it. And we were like, yeah, it's probably a good single, whatever. But like I said, it wouldn't have worked out the way it did. And it's a lot of stuff you look back and you're like, well, I should have done it a little different, but that's where you're at that moment. And, that's what you think is right. And that's all you can really do. Just do what you hope is going to work and then see how it works. So.
Well, thanks for hanging out with me, man.
No problem.
It's a pleasure to finally catch you because I'm serious, man. I was trying, and you would keep disappearing. Well, so thanks for hanging out.
No problem, man. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys be sure to pick up the new reimagined version of Page Avenue, 10 Years and Counting from Story of the Year. And if you can catch the show, do it. And subscribe to punkvideosrock.com. Thanks for watching, guys.